with a Tuesday top 5. I told you that this was going to be kind of all over the map, and I wasn't kidding. Today's Tuesday top 5 is going to be top 5 worst dates. I have been dating a long time. A long time. And what actually prompted this Tuesday top 5 was a date that I had this weekend. And it actually made the list, but I will get there. But yeah, I've been dating a long time. I'm 37. I've never been married. I have never even really had a super serious boyfriend, like where we've discussed engagement and stuff like that. Okay, so I've been out in the dating world, in the dating pool for quite some time. I also have done a lot of internet dating. And so a lot of these stories, that's basically how they started, was I met someone online and hell happened. So let's get right into it. Number 5, I'm going backwards. Yeah, I'm going to start with 5 and go to 1. I don't think I did that last time, but I'm going to do it this time because I do what I want. Number 5 is the date with the guy. Most of these guys, I don't remember their names, so we're just going to make them up. This guy, his name is not so great with the gun safety. Because I went on a date with a guy one time who had shot himself in the hand. Literally walks into Starbucks, hand is in a cast, and tells me, like, his job was something where he had to handle a gun on a regular basis. It was part of his employment. And yeah, he was cleaning it and had shot himself in the hand. I'm not a gun person in that, like, I don't own one and I don't operate one. So part of me wanted to cut him some slack, mostly because he was really good looking. But yeah, I'm like, if that's your job to handle that weapon and you can't, you shot yourself. I immediately was worried for our potential future children. And yeah, I was just like, can't do it. Sorry. You shot yourself in the hand, dude. And subsequently shot yourself in the foot, metaphorically speaking. Anyway, that was number 5. Number 4, we're going to call this guy the is that it guy. So I meet this guy online. This is when I was living in Midland. We go on a date to, I believe it was Buffalo Wild Wings. And classy, I know, yeah. Actually, that's not the worst first date place to take me. I mean, I'm okay with Buffalo Wild Wings, but it's what happened afterwards. He takes me back home, and this was an evening date. We get out of the car, and he walks me to the door, and I can tell, I can tell what's about to happen. He's going in for the goodnight kiss. Okay. I let him. Gave him a little kiss. Nice kiss. Like appropriate kissing. And then I pulled away and put the key in the door to go inside. And he literally looked at me and said, "Is that it?" "It is now." Seriously. I say this all the time to people when I'm telling these stories, but you can't make this up. These people exist. Bad date number 3 is, we're going to call this guy, he's one of my faves, college words. Oh, college words. So I went on a date with this guy when I was living in College Station and going to A&M. And he took me to a convenience store for our date. That is not the worst part of the date, okay? So I'm just getting started. Took me to, the convenience stores that have, like, where you can get the little fried burritos or whatever, and so they'll have, like, the little 2-people booths, in the convenience store. That was where we went on our date. So, I thought, okay, maybe this is all he can afford, and who am I to judge? I was a poor college student, so, whatever. So we go to this convenience store. Well, the lady working, we strike up a conversation with this lady that's on duty at the convenience store. She was complaining. She was having to, refill the soda machines. I don't really know exactly how it works. But she was having to refill the soda machines or reattach something. And she was complaining about how she hated doing that. Well, she had mentioned earlier in the conversation that she was one of the managers. And I said, Well, if you're a manager, why don't you just delegate that responsibility to somebody else? And I am not joking when I tell you, he looked at me dead in the face, serious as a heart attack, and said, "Oh, look at you and your fancy college words." That was my response. I wasn't sure which word confused him. Delegate, maybe? Responsibility? I don't know. Maybe all of them. We were in a convenience store after all. Yeah, that dude went down in the history books as one of the worst dates ever. So, number 2, we're going to call this guy Made Me Pay. Now, before you jump to conclusions, I am a cosmopolitan woman in the 21st century. Okay, it's not the worst thing in the world if I go Dutch on a date. Okay, I'm able to get past those more traditional gender roles. However, if you tell me you're going to pay, like you invite me and say, "Let's go to this concert, I'll get your ticket," and then when I get there, you change your mind, yeah, that's an issue. But what if I didn't come with money? Because you said you were going to get my ticket. Anyway, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I agreed to meet this guy at an Aaron Watson concert in Odessa, Texas. And I was running a little behind because I had another engagement, which he knew about. And so he was like, "Well, I'll meet you at the door when you get here and get your ticket. Just text me." So I did. And he responds back with, "Well, I'm like right next to the stage and it's a really good spot and I really don't want to lose it. So if you can just get your ticket, I'll buy you a beer." Sure, I'll get my ticket. So I pay my way into the concert. And honestly, if that had been it, like if he had been like this really dynamic guy and we had had some really great conversation and it was a really good date, probably would have overlooked the fact that I had to buy my own ticket. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. It was like that combined with everything else. So I get there, sure enough, he's like up there at the stage, like some little schoolgirl with a crush, staring at Aaron Watson, singing along to every song. When I, in turn, don't sing along, he's like, "You don't know this song?" I can't make that face enough. That's my permanent face on dates. Maybe that's why I'm single. Anyway, yeah. Like, we didn't even have a conversation. He just sang along to every song that Aaron Watson sang, and I just stood there trying to enjoy myself. I mean, I paid for the ticket. Might as well try to enjoy myself. And then afterwards, when this concert was over and we finally had a chance to talk, he was like, "Okay, I'm going to go wait in line. I want him to sign my ball cap." That was the time that I politely excused myself. Also, I'm pretty sure that guy was missing teeth. Yeah. So we're down to number 1. This is what happened this weekend. Met a guy online. Went on a date. Decided fairly early on that it wasn't a love connection. You know, like, nice enough guy, but I just know me. And I'm like, nope, not interested. And maybe this is my bad. I don't know. I decided I text a friend to find out what he was doing, and I was like, I'm really not wanting to end the night with this guy alone. Like, it was just kind of one of those things where I definitely got the feeling that he was more interested than I was, and I was trying to avoid something awkward. Instead, I just think I made it more awkward. So I asked him if he minds if we go meet my friends. He was polite enough to say, "Yeah, that's fine." We go meet my friends, and we go to like a party at an apartment. At some point in the evening, he says, "I don't feel well. I'm going to step outside and get some air." And I kid you not, that was the last I saw him. He left me. Now, again, trying to see the whole picture here, I did interrupt our date to do something with friends, but it doesn't change the fact that he left me at this apartment and didn't tell me. I mean, what you gonna do? So, yeah, we're just gonna call him the ghost. because he ghosted me. I probably had it coming. I've ghosted a few people myself. Not like that, though. Not in person. I didn't take him to a party and then leave. So, that's my Tuesday top 5. Top 5 worst dates. I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I've had some doozies. Bye, y'all.